On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, top leaders have declared a state of emergency in Chile as a heat wave has wildfires raging across the country. 25 News Now is following the latest developments this morning. And turning now to the Crossroads, a Victoria family believes they weren't the target of a shooting last week, but stray bullets thought otherwise. We'll tell you how one family got caught in the crossfire. And about 65 miles south of Victoria, fire crews say they believe a lightning strike ignited this fire at a home in Rockport. What we're learning so far and more just minutes away on Sunrise.
And it was a little bit cool after that cold front came through this weekend, but the good news is we'll be warming up with a little bit of drearier weather coming our way later this week, and we'll take a look at that and the weather coming up.
The Bloomington Bobcats have an important vacancy, and we have yet another commit to Hardin Simmons, this one from Victoria East. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain and Parker Cox is here too with your forecast. And today is the 5th day of February 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Monday morning, and it's National Pork Rind Day, or I think it's called chicharrones in Spanish, but pork rinds, they're pretty delicious. It's like pork fat that's actually fried into little chips. Have you had it, Parker?
I have not. I have had it, but it's been a very long time since I've had it. I need to go get me some more of the chicken runs because it does sound pretty yummy. But good morning, folks. If y'all tuning in with us this morning, y'all looking at a live look at Eastern Victoria. Well, look at that as that sun starts coming up, and it got a nice, pretty sky out there for your sunrise this morning. But right now, just a little bit cool out there this morning. Right now, about 54 degrees. But with the dew point of 44, just 10 degrees off. We get a 69% humidity. So not too humid, not too dry, and not too bad of a morning for us out here today. But looking at your weather headlines for the rest of this week, we are going to warm up. We're going to start warming up right back up to the 70s starting tomorrow as that southerly wind returns. But we do have a couple windy days coming our way this morning, and also a couple more days this week as well. We'll take a look at that in just a second, because it is also going to be a little bit dreary and overcast later in the week, with a good shot at some showers as well. We'll take a look at that as well in a little bit, because like I said, it is going to be a little bit of a windy morning yet again, especially this morning, and going into this afternoon it will calm down a little bit. But this morning we could see yet again wind gusts up to 30 and 35 miles an hour, but calming back down to 25 to 30 this afternoon, and even more overnight tonight. Now yesterday we had wind gusts up to 55. Very, very windy day yesterday. Not as windy as it was yesterday, but still a windy day. But right now all of us in the low and mid 50s this morning. But like I said, after that cool front came through, we're only warming up into the low 60s today. But if you don't like that cool weather, good news is we got lots of warm weather and also kind of dreary weather coming up later this week, and we'll take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. At least 99 people have died by forest fires raging in Chile. It comes as the country faces a heat wave. Chile's interior minister said Saturday that 92 active fires were burning. The fires have destroyed more than 1,300 homes, and evacuations are in effect in several regions. President Boric declared a state of emergency, and red alerts were issued for the at-risk areas. The Education Ministry has established 20 shelters in regions across Chile. So far, 19 helicopters and more than 450 firefighters were brought into the area to combat the blazes. Victoria has a new elected mayor, Dwayne Crocker. Let's take a look at those Saturday special election results. Dwayne Crocker led the race with 61% of the vote. Josephine Solis trailed behind with 20%. Carissa Winters with 9% of the vote, and Bob Constantine with 5% of the vote. And the other two candidates, Peter Brand and Jacob Salceda, both with 1% of the vote. Dwayne Crocker says he wants to continue his service to the community as mayor, and the 55-year-old says he wants to focus on improving roadways and retaining firefighters and police officers. He's an attorney who graduated from Texas Tech Law School in 1994. And here's a look at the total voter turnout so far, including those numbers from Saturday. 4,080 people voted in the mayoral special election, and that's 10.91% of all registered voters in the city of Victoria. And the next election for mayor is going to be May 2025. A Victoria family says someone opened fire outside of their home last week, and they say they're not surprised by what they found following the shooting. They say the shooting left a room in their home riddled with bullet holes. The family says they believe the shots came from a nearby home. The family's daughter says she saw a bullet ricochet through a room and instantly dropped to the floor to avoid the bullets. The bullets reportedly hit a wall and a deep freezer. The family called local authorities, and now the incident is under investigation by the sheriff's office. We reached out to the family and the sheriff's office for an update on the incident. We plan to talk to the family later this week. Fire crews in Rockport believe a lightning strike caused this fire at a home Sunday morning. 3 county fire departments responded to the fire at around 6:50 yesterday, and they arrived to find the flames coming through the roof. We have not received word on any injuries. Heavy rain and strong winds continued to batter the Bay Area Sunday after another storm system moved in overnight. The brunt of the storms is expected to last through this morning. And in addition to the persistent rain and strong winds, Bay Area residents are seeing flooding on roadways and along waterways and down trees. Flood warning and watches are in effect for several areas, as well as wind advisories and high wind warnings. The big game brings big opportunities for rideshare drivers during Big Game Weekend, including potential extra cash. Transportation in and around the Las Vegas Strip will be limited due to road closures and several events taking place. Plus, the big game is expected to be a lot different logistically compared to November's Formula One Grand Prix race. Even for part-time drivers, financial opportunities like surcharges are a potential touchdown, and some events are already listed on apps for rideshare drivers to book. Locals are anticipated to be a big factor for keeping the money flowing. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Taylor Swift has done it again, and she has a big announcement.
A bipartisan group of Senate negotiators has finally released a proposal to overhaul the country's immigration system. Mike Ajachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, does it go far enough for House Republicans?
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast, and later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that nice but dreary weather coming our way later this week.
We all know that going to the doctor can be scary, but it's important and it can save your life. Black men are dying at an alarming rate from colon cancer, so we are setting out to change that, starting with me. I'm at the age now. I got to get a colonoscopy, and it wasn't easy, but I asked 2 of my childhood friends to join me so I wouldn't do it alone. And we are going to share that journey with you. So tune in next week to find out what you need to know about reducing your risk of colon cancer. We are hoping to save a life, maybe even yours.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, look at a live look at Cuero, where you can actually see where the edge of that cloud cover is kind of starting to clear up out there this morning, and we'll be picking right back up going to this afternoon. But right now, if y'all are tuning in Cuero, y'all are looking at about 54 degrees out there this morning. But with the dew point 45, just 9 degrees off, got a 72% humidity. So it's not too humid, not too dry, quite a nice, little bit of a cool morning, not too bad of a morning for us. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door for school, it's going to be about 53 as they're heading out the door, kind of like it is right now, about 54 here on the Crossroads. But as they're heading back home, about 3-4 p.m. this afternoon, about 63, only warming up just to about the low 60s. Also going to be a little breezy as well this afternoon. But looking at your weather and health forecast here, the tree pollen is going to remain moderate today because it is going to be a windy day, bringing all that wind is bringing all of that mountain cedar from West Texas back into our area. But everything else, green lights, go for launch. But for the rest of this week, we got everything is on the rise, whether it's the high temperature, low temperature, cloud cover, or the rain chances. Everything's on the rise coming later this week, which we'll take a look at more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Bloomington in need of a head coach, and the East Titans sending another athlete to college. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
This past week, Bloomington Bobcat head coach Brandon Krause accepted the head coaching position at Splendora High School. The Bobcats now have a hole to fill on those sidelines at head coach. Brandon Krause did a pretty good job in his 2 years at the Bloom, getting the program their first district win in about a decade. And a big talking point this year was investment into the program from the community and from the players. It looks like they got a lot of that because everyone seems to have bought in this past year. Bobcat Athletics, better than they have been in a while. We will now wait to see who they will hire as their football coach. Another day, another Hardin-Simmons commit, this time from Victoria East, and that is Joe Soto. In his varsity career, Soto tallied about 191 tackles. He averaged almost 10 a game this past season. Also had 12 tackles for a loss this past season. Some of you may remember he had a big interception in the East versus West battle for the boot. That was a play that head coach Charlie Reeve mentioned in his post-game interview, and plays like that or why he was the district co-defensive player of the year. Congrats to Joe Soto on being able to play at the next level. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Now on to the latest regarding the southern border. A bipartisan group of senators has released the text of a proposal of a bill that would tie billions of dollars in new foreign aid to the first major overhaul of the country's immigration system in years. But will it attract the support of Republicans in the House?
This morning, it's the first major overhaul of the country's immigration system in years. Senate negotiators unveiling the $118 billion bipartisan agreement to overhaul immigration policies. The bill includes $20 billion for immigration enforcement, the hiring of thousands of officers, and increased screenings for fentanyl and other drugs. The measure also includes $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, and $10 billion in humanitarian aid for people in Gaza, the West Bank, and Ukraine. President Biden praising the deal, writing, "Get it to my desk so I can sign it into law immediately."
We cannot let politics get in the way of passing this legislation. The senators have to drown out the noise of politics and politicians who tell them not to vote for this bill for political purposes.
The proposal comes after months of insistence from House Republicans that any aid for Ukraine be paired with legislation to address the record number of migrants coming across the southern border. Still, Republican leaders dismissing the proposal a short time after lawmakers released the bill's text. House Speaker Mike Johnson saying the Senate's bill doesn't go far enough and that it will be dead on arrival in the House. Senator James Lankford, the lead negotiator for Republicans, responding to Johnson's criticism.
I'm a little confused how it's worse than I expected when it builds border wall, expands deportation flights, expands ICE officers, Border Patrol officers, detention beds, how it creates a faster process for deportation.
Former President Trump publicly urges Republican lawmakers to oppose the deal. Johnson denying House Republicans are taking directions from Trump.
Of course not. He's not calling the shots.
According to Customs and Border Protection, border encounters have dropped by more than half this month, following a record-setting December when agents encountered nearly 250,000 migrants along the southern border. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you support the Senate's border bill? Okay, let's take a look. 37% of you say yes, that's just 1% more than the last half hour, and 63% of you say no. Thank you for taking part in today's viewer poll. 25 News Now Sports has learned VISD is looking into an incident involving West High School head baseball coach Austin Molinaro. He is still employed by the district. The sheriff's office is also investigating the incident. On January 19th, VISD put the head coach on administrative leave due to allegations of inappropriate conduct and a violation of the standards of conduct. The time is now just about 6:46 on our Monday morning. Still to come, a shooting in Denver early Sunday left 2 people dead and 4 others hurt. And now it's time to celebrate those birthdays. Happy 14th birthday to Jada. We're proud of the beautiful and intelligent young woman you have become. You're such a blessing in our lives from Mom, Dad, and brother.
Oh, that was so sweet. And happy birthday to one of the pioneers of R&B today. Bobby Brown is turning 55. Happy birthday, Bobby. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More and under Home you see KAVU to submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope you all have been enjoying all that nice warm weather we've had all last week. Did cool down just a little bit after that cool front, but something I want to point out to you today, this morning, is all those rainfall totals that we had on Saturday morning, Friday overnight. North Victoria, we got 4.72 inches. Canado, y'all got 3.28 inches, about 3.25. And here in Goliad as well, they got 3.10 inches. Lots of rain. In fact, that was all dropped within 5 hours of time. So you could ask any meteorologist and they would say that is a lot of rain in that little time. But yesterday we got up to about 73 yesterday. Well, a nice warm day yesterday. Also very, very windy. Yesterday we had reported gusts up to 55 miles an hour. That is a very, you can ask any meteorologist that as well. They would say very windy day. But today's temperatures only getting up to the low 60s after that cool front came through, and it also still very windy. But tomorrow warming up, and for the rest of this week we're actually going to be warming up. And why that is because we got the southerly winds returning right back out of the Gulf tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon is going to be the first day that we see the southerly winds, which is going to bring in all of that warm and humid air right back out of the Gulf into our area. But looking at what's going on for the rest of this week, we've got that low out there. It's actually a deep one. You can see it really spinning out there near Florida. That's actually the one that just gave us that cool front. It's going to push eastbound just a little bit and go out into the Atlantic, making way for a couple more lows to develop, one out of the northern central plains with another one right down here on the coast, giving us a good shot at some rain slowly building for the rest of this week, and also cloud cover picking up for the rest of this week as well, which we'll take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Kiana.
Thank you, Parker. Taylor Swift has done it again. She won her 13th Grammy at Sunday night's Grammy Awards show in Los Angeles. She won for Best Pop Vocal Album for Midnights, and when she accepted her award, she made an announcement that she had kept secret from her fans for 2 years. She's coming out with a new album. It's going to be called The Tortured Poets Department. It's coming out April 19th. It will be her 11th album. And this year's Big Game Week in Las Vegas is officially underway with Sunday's arrival of the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. The Chiefs and 49ers are set to battle for the Lombardi Trophy at Allegiant Stadium next Sunday. The stadium is home of the Raiders, and it will host the first Las Vegas Big Game. During the Big Game Week, people can enjoy events such as opening night and the Big Game experience with immersive activities for fans of all ages. While much of the attention is on the matchup between the Chiefs and the 49ers, viewers can expect star-studded performances from Usher, Reba McEntire, Post Malone, and Andra Day. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Governor Abbott coming to Victoria to support a candidate for the District 30 House seat. A shooting in Denver early Sunday morning left 2 people dead and 4 others hurt. A 26-year-old man and a teenage boy were killed. The 4 other victims were taken to the hospital, and one is in critical condition. Police say their investigation found there was a party at a home Saturday night and a group of uninvited people arrived. Authorities say this resulted in a confrontation that escalated into gunfire. The teen who died did not appear to be involved in the conflict, and police are still working to determine if the man who died was involved. Police have made no arrest at this time. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 720-913-7867. So far, 3 people have filed to run for City Council in Victoria. Residents can run for any of the 4 regular City Council District 1, 2, 3, and 4 seats. 3 candidates have filed, 1 each for position 1, 2, and 4. Rafael de la Garza III is seeking re-election in District 1. Jan Scott seeking re-election in District 4, and attorney Stephen Kidder has filed to run in District 2. An informational session takes place February 6th at 10 a.m. at the council chambers, and the deadline to file for a place on the ballot is 5 p.m. February 16th, and that election is May 4th. Texas law requires eligible voters to register by the 30th day before Election Day. Voter registration deadline for the March 5th, 2024 election is today, February 5th. Governor Greg Abbott coming to Victoria Thursday to support Jeff Bouknight, our outgoing mayor. He's going for that District 30 House seat, and he's going to be in town supporting Bouknight. That event starts at 10:30 a.m. at the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex on Thursday. It's open to the public, but you're going to need a RSVP in order to attend. Come to our website, crossroadstoday.com, for that link to RSVP. President Biden on the campaign trail. He delivered remarks in North Las Vegas on Sunday. During his speech, he took several jabs at former President Donald Trump, who he called a loser and referred to as Hoover. President Biden spoke on several topics, including the economy, Medicare, and abortion. He also spoke on student loan forgiveness. The Victoria County Courthouse has canceled the jury trial scheduled for today at 8:30 a.m. If you're someone summoned for jury duty today, you do not need to appear. The court will not reschedule this date. Victoria County Commissioners meeting today at 10 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse. We have some items from the agenda. They're going to receive for the record the selection order from the U.S. Department of Transportation selecting SkyWest Airlines Incorporated to provide essential air service to Victoria. They're also going to consider approval of appointments to the Victoria Animal Services Shelter Advisory Committee. Virtual meeting options are available if you cannot attend the meeting in person. Governor Greg Abbott defends migrant tactics in Eagle Pass amid an escalating legal battle with the Biden administration. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker. Parker, what a beautiful sunrise.
Yes, Carolyn, it is a pretty sunrise. In fact, just like 2 or 3 minutes ago, this whole sky was actually a pink and purple. But now, as the sun's coming up higher in the sky, nice and very visible cloud-covered deck over there, as you can see way out in the background. But right now, right about 53 out here in the Crossroads this morning, and also not too bad in the humidity department, only 71%. But the winds are starting to pick up as that sun's coming up. 17 miles an hour, probably gusting up in the mid-20s right now. But this morning, those winds will probably be gusting a little bit harder at around 30 miles an hour. Calming back down going into this afternoon and into this evening, where tomorrow we return to southerly flow with those southerly winds coming right back into the Gulf by tomorrow afternoon, bringing all that warm and humid air right back to our area for the rest of this week. But this morning, all of us starting out in the low and mid 50s this morning. But if you don't like that kind of cool weather, only going to warm up just a little bit today into the low 60s this afternoon, because we got that cool front that just came through over the weekend. But if you don't like that cool weather, it is going to warm up for the rest of this week. Every single day we're going to be on the rise with that temperature, with the southerly winds, and also these couple lows coming off the Rockies, giving us a good shot at some rain chances and also cloud cover. Everything is on the rise this week: winds, rain, and cloud cover.
Thank you so much, Parker, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your week. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Dawn, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.